Hi everyone, my name is Elena and I am the Study Abroad officer in the Arts and Sciences department. I will be talking to you a bit about the option of studying abroad. So as you may know, you can either do a 3-year program doing Arts and Sciences all in London, or you can do a 4-year program. So you would do your first and second year at UCL in London, then you will go abroad for a year and then you come back to do your final year. So I will be sharing my screen so you can see the presentation, okay? Okie dokie. I think you can all see it now. Brilliant. So basically, studying abroad. I will be talking about who can go abroad, why you should go abroad, where you can go, what your options are, how much it will cost, so your finances, so you can think about budgeting before you go abroad, or preparing in some kind of way, and then I will explain to you how you make it happen if this is something that you want to do. Okay, so what is studying abroad, first of all? So studying abroad means adding an experience to your degree, going to a partner university for a year, going to a partner university for half a year, and then doing a traineeship for the other half of the year, or doing a traineeship abroad. The main aim of studying abroad is to improve your language skills. So everyone will be doing a core language during the duration of your program, and your year abroad will be an opportunity for you to improve your core language and become fluent in that language. So I have some testimonies here from students. So this student went to Sciences Po. She actually went in 2018, 2019. So these past years, she talked to students going abroad. Next year, hopefully, if the coronavirus situation allows it. And she had an amazing time in Paris. That's the student. I don't know if you can see her. You can see my mouse, but it's the one here, and she was very involved in the volleyball team. So it was great because she could improve her French at the same time as she play sports and made friends. There's another testimony from a student, Charlotte, who went to the University of California, Santa Barbara campus. So the University of California is a very popular university where students go abroad, and obviously, the experience, the teaching environment, and the facilities is all very different to UCL, and obviously the weather will be very different as well in California. So you get a completely different experience for a year. There's another student that went to Texas. So even though we encourage students to go to a country where the language that they study at UCL is an official language, students also have the possibility of going to the United States, Canada, Australia, and you should just improve. You should just keep on studying your core language at university like you would do if you were at UCL. And Eleonora, she went to Chile and her Spanish became amazing, and she traveled so much. She went to all these amazing places. She gave a presentation as well to students going abroad next year. And it was just great to hear about her experience. And if you have an Instagram account and you type #BASc Abroad, I think you're going to be able to see some of their photos from when they were abroad, which, as you can see, they're always beautiful. So why you should study abroad? As I mentioned, it's a year for you to improve on your language skills. If you study at UCL, of course, you're going to have weekly classes at CLI, so that's the Center for Languages and International Education. But if you go abroad to a country where the language that you study is spoken, you're going to be involved in every sort of activity that where you will have to speak that language that you're learning. You're going to have to basically survive and make do with what you know, and it's an amazing, that immersion in the different countries, an amazing experience. It's an amazing way for you to improve your language skills. It also increases your employability. So employers look for students that speak other languages, that have other skills, that are adaptable as well. And going to a different country and adapting and living abroad for a year, shows some, shows that you have some skills, and will be good to have on your CV. It will make you stand out from the crowd as well, because apart from on your CV as well, apart from having a degree from UCL, which is already amazing, you're going to have, a year at the University of Tokyo, for example, in Japan, or a year at the National University of Singapore, or you're going to have a traineeship that you do for a year. So it's going to, you're going to have something additional on your CV. You experience a different culture as well. You're going to make so many friends. It's just a great opportunity to expand your network as well. There is this there will be new ways of learning and teaching. So you will be perhaps if you go, for example, to Spain, you will be going to more classes. There is more teaching hours. There's more contact hours. The relationship with your lecturers is going to be different than if you were at UCL, and you may find out that there are other ways that you learn better, and there are other ways that you can bring back with you to do for your final year. When you go abroad, you can also expand the fields that you usually study at UCL. So even though you should do something related to your major and your minor pathways, you can also study things that you wouldn't normally study at UCL, that you couldn't study at UCL because we don't offer those courses. And that might be something that you want to add to your dissertation when you come back to finish your final year. Um, so that links to expanding your own horizons, not just traveling and going to places that you have never been to, but also studying other areas of study that that you haven't had a chance to study yet. You will increase your independence when you live abroad. You're going to have, you're going to have to do your own laundry. You're going to have to do your own shopping. All those things that are going to make you be more mature, basically, and ready to, tackle the real world. And then you're going to get to travel as well. There's so many nice photos that students have shared with us from them traveling. It's just beautiful. And for example, if you go to places such as Australia or Argentina, or places that have a big vacation during the Christmas holidays, then you're gonna get to travel, because for them that's summer instead of winter. So they have a big break, so you get to travel to all these amazing places, and it's just great. And the last reason, why not? Who wouldn't like to go abroad and have an amazing year? So where can you go? And this is the list of countries where you can go currently. So we're trying to add new destinations every year, new partner universities that students will be interested in going to. The list is also on our website. So if you just Google BASc Study Abroad, you will find the destinations as well, the universities where you can go. As I said, you should probably aim to go to a university in a country that speaks the language that you want to study at UCL. So let's say you want to do Mandarin, you may want to go to China, or if you do Japanese, you may want to go to Japan. But if you commit to improve your language in any other place, you can still go to one of these countries if you want to study. So this is a map, basically, where you can see our partner universities. Um, the colors basically mean the blue ones are Erasmus partners. So the Erasmus program basically gives funding for students to study in European countries. So you will get a grant every month. We don't know what's going to happen with Brexit, but we hope that students will still have funding to go abroad. Then the green ones are BASc only agreements. So that means that when you apply to go abroad, you will only be competing with other BASc students for these places. And the red ones and the orange ones, which is California, are the competitive universities that other students at UCL can apply to go abroad to. So basically, the competition is a bit different from university to other universities, but it's doable. And during your second year, I prepare students to apply and have a good application to go to the partner university that they want to go to. How much does it cost? So you won't have to pay any tuition fees to the host institution where you go. So let's say you go to Washington, which will be very expensive. You have to pay for your own tuition fees. You wouldn't have to. You would just pay UCL fees. If you are a UK or an EU student, you will pay 15% of your full-time fees. So instead of paying £9,250, you will pay, I think it is 1,385 for that year. And if you're an international student, you will pay half of your full-time tuition fees, which, for some places where tuition fees are very, very high, is really, it's really worth it. And it's really great that you don't have to pay for their tuition fees. You will have to think about other costs, such as visa applications, traveling to the country where you're going to spend your year abroad, living costs and things like that. So if you want to start thinking about, you haven't even come to London, but if you want to start thinking about going abroad, you may want to consider these things, these costs. And then there's always funding. So, for example, the Student Finance England has this travel grant that students can apply for. So I think they cover 2 round trips to your destination for your year abroad. You can find out on the website, on the Student Finance England website, if you are eligible for those. If you go to European countries, you can get Erasmus grant. Bearing in mind that Brexit doesn't affect our participation in the Erasmus program. And then there's this Erasmus ICM grant for Israel. So students that want to go to Israel, let's say you study Arabic and you want to go to Jerusalem for a year, you will get Erasmus funding, which is a lot more than for European countries. So that is about 800 euros a month. Traineeships. So if you want to have a break from studying on your 3rd year, you can do a traineeship abroad. So the options are, you can go to a university for a whole year. You can do a semester at a university and a semester doing a traineeship. So that's a great way to get both work experience and also getting that university experience in another country. Or you can just do a traineeship for the whole year. If you decide to do a traineeship in a European country, then you can have Erasmus funding. And if you decide to do it outside the European Union, you probably wouldn't have funding. But hopefully, you will find a traineeship that is paid by your employer. I will be helping you find internships. And the traineeship, there's only one rule. They have to be full-time, and they have to be in a country where the language that you study at UCL is spoken. So you get that immersion in the language and the culture. So with Erasmus traineeships, as I said, there are traineeships that are in Europe. There is funding available, so you may get paid by your employer, and you will get an Erasmus grant, which is surprisingly it's a better grant than if you studied in Europe. So you get a bigger Erasmus grant, and hopefully you get paid by your employer. We always recommend students to go for paid internships. And all the students that do Erasmus traineeships are eligible for Erasmus funding at UCL. So how do I do it? Basically, if you find one, I will help you get the funding. If, for example, you don't go abroad, but we are still part of the Erasmus program, you can do Erasmus traineeships for the summer. These are just optional. If you find an internship in a European country for the summer, outside your degree, but you want to apply for Erasmus funding, that is also a possibility. How do you make it happen? So you need to enroll onto the study abroad program. So if you have applied for the 3-year program, you have until the beginning of your 2nd year to decide if you want to switch to the 4-year program with the study abroad. And the same for students that are enrolled in the 4-year program. If you're already planning to go abroad, but then for some reason you can't go abroad anymore, then you have until the beginning of your 2nd year, because during 2nd year afterwards, I will be helping you apply for a destination. So, and I will be helping you get an internship. So you need to decide before the beginning of your second year what you want to do. So for all first year students, I always give a presentation about February time and basically give you the information you need for to decide whether you want to go abroad or not, and then you have the whole summer after your first year to decide. You should pass all of your modules before you go abroad. This is just to help you basically because you need to be prepared to study in a different, maybe in a different language, definitely in a different country. So we try to get students to pass all of their modules and have 60% average in their first and second year. So they're competitive and they're, prepared to go abroad. And you need to complete a formal application for UCL in your second year. And then once UCL offers you a place, so for example, you have three choices. For example, you study Spanish and you pick Universidad de los Andes in Colombia, then Madrid University, Autónoma de Madrid in Spain, and then you pick Universidad de Salamanca in Spain too. And then let's say you had an amazing application and you get Colombia, then you will have to complete an application for that university. But I will help you throughout the process. This is another testimony, which is very nice, from a student that went to China for her year abroad and improved a lot her Mandarin. And there is this BASc Abroad blog that BASc students actually, they created it and they run it. And there are different destinations. You can see this is, I think there's a carnival that students went to in South America. There are so many photos and destinations. And it's just nice to see, what your year abroad will look like. You can also check our social media channels if you want to know more. And the Study Abroad team, the central one at UCL, has some feedback from students, some testimonies that you can read about. And when you start your arts and sciences program, you will get to talk to students that have been abroad, so they can help you decide where you can go. And that's it. If you have any questions, please email me at basc-office@ucl.ac.uk, and I will be very happy to reply to all the questions you may have. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay, you can see me now again. So it has been lovely to talk to you about study abroad. If you have any questions, as I said, just email them to me. Or at the beginning of your first year, I will be giving another presentation about study abroad. So you can ask me other questions you want there. And yeah, I hope everyone is safe. And yeah, I see you soon.